fact, Endyia Rogers is coming off a season-high 5 3-point make performance in a loss against Mississippi State in Texas A&M's most previous game. Tip is up in the air, controlled by Ole Miss. And let's play some basketball in Oxford. Ole Miss coming off a loss to the top-ranked team in the nation in South Carolina. And once again, A&M trying to bounce back after back-to-back losses. Most recent one to Mississippi State. Endyia Collins lets it fly from the corner. And Ole Miss, not a three-point shooting team. They hit it 25% of the time coming into today. We talked about Endyia Rogers, but Aisha Coulibaly, the Auburn transfer, someone to look out for as well. And roaming around in the paint, the 6'5" Lauren Ware, the transfer in her first season at Texas A&M. Aggies off the mark on their first shot attempt. Collins tries again, and she's 0 for 2 to begin the night. Talked about Endyia Collins. Kennedy Todd Williams has been in double figures a lot recently for Ole Miss. And, of course, you got to talk about Madison Scott for Ole Miss and her 17 points that she had in the loss against South Carolina.
It's a beautiful thing about both of these teams. They have a lot of diversity on the offensive end. So it's not usually just one or two players that put the points on the board. It's several of them.
Coulibaly scored the first 2 points of the night. And another shot off the mark for Ole Miss. Here's Scott on the offensive rebound. Taya Singleton into the starting lineup in back-to-back days for Ole Miss. She ties us up early with a nice little baby hook.
That's a beautiful shot there. Those offensive rebounds are good.
Rogers, the transfer from the Pac-12, spent 2 years at Oregon and 1 at USC. Lauren Ware over the rim on the hook. Both teams 1 for 5 to begin the game. Patented shot from Martusa Davis. And Joni Taylor in her second season at Texas A&M, she said this could be a race to 60. 3 combined field goals for both teams. Todd Williams triggers. Puts it in.
Yeah, off to a cold start, but they're a team, they usually shoot a pretty high percentage. They're going to get warmed up.
6 minutes to go in the first quarter. With 4 left to shoot. Jump shots pure.
Still remember it was around December where she felt it was July. They had taken so many licks to the face.
Endyia Collins fouled on her way to the basket. Aisha Coulibaly picks up her first personal foul. There's Joni Taylor. And year number 2 at Texas A&M. Spent some time at Georgia. Led the Bulldogs to 4 NCAA tournament appearances from 2015 to 22, and actually coming off a gold medal win with the USA basketball team as head coach of the U19 team. Got a talented roster. She feels defensively, she says we're okay, but we shouldn't be okay. We should be really solid. She was pretty displeased with the Aggies' defensive performance against Mississippi State. Endyia Collins hits both free throws, and Ole Miss is out in front by 5. Coulibaly drives to the basket. Met by Ayanna Thompson.
That defense, that is the bread and butter.
And it's Ole Miss basketball as well after that block. And Carissa Richardson is called for traveling. So we harped a lot about defense and rebounding per game. Second in the SEC for Texas A&M. The rebounding margin, too, Lindsay, is off the charts. And we harped on the offensive rebounds as well.
Absolutely. And those defensive rebounds is also just a big part of their defense. They get the stop, they get the ball. And
Endyia Collins fumbled the basketball, but Richardson recovered. 8 left to shoot. Here's Collins on the twirl. Right back out to her. Richardson, the floater. Ibakwe offensive rebound. Hits her miss. Back to Richardson. Bang. Pulls up from 3. It's deflected by Collins. Scott on the run. All the way. Time out. Joni Taylor at Texas A&M. Texas A&M offensively 3 for 10 shooting from the floor, 0 for 2 from outside. But it seems like they are struggling a little bit to get into an early flow offensively.
Yeah, I mean, that happens too sometimes when you're on the road. It's hard to find that flow.
Rogers, scoreless tonight, comes to Coulibaly. 4 left to shoot. Rogers triggers. And couldn't get the bounce. Rebound falls to Barker. A refresh 20 for A&M. Here's Barker. Swish.
Huge offensive board for A&M. Got him a second chance there.
That ended a 2-minute scoring drought as well for the Aggies. And a poke away for Coulibaly. She's all alone. 4 quick points.
Now we're seeing some A&M basketball, that quick pace, the defense that turns into offense.
Scott can't respond. Basketball pinballed around and a whistle on Ole Miss. Coulibaly, just 6 games this season under 10 points this year. She got up slow.
13 points per game, shooting nearly 50%.
Texas A&M's only lead was when they scored the first 2 points of this game. Shot clock down to 5. And Coulibaly scores left of the rim.
What a move. That's just...
Todd Williams is fouled. However, Kennedy Todd Williams can break the tie right here, but they came out swinging.
They did. Out of that timeout, they went on a very strong run.
Sydney Bowles, 0 in the game for Texas A&M. Todd Williams splits. Ole Miss back on top, but only by 1 under a minute to go in the first quarter. Here's Bowles, sophomore from Georgia. He was originally signed to Georgia until Joni Taylor took the Texas A&M job. Offensive board, stick back, good for Lauren Ware. And Ole Miss quick down the floor. Davis goes to work and draws the foul. Talked about Marquisha Davis to begin the broadcast, and rightfully so, right? I mean, nearly 18 points per game in this.
An impactful player. She's the one that her team looks to score.
She's top 10 in the conference, against the conference in points per game. Clock down to 9. Lob to Barker. Around Ibakwe. 1 second left for Todd Williams. And that's the end of the first quarter. Fun, entertaining back and forth quarter. We'll see what quarter number 2 brings when we come back. It's important to have role models and someone to look up to being that young, right?
Absolutely.
Uncharacteristic air ball from Endyia Rogers, the leading scorer this season for Texas A&M. She's 0 for 4 to begin this game. 6 left to shoot. Here's a 3. And it's off for Hilton and Ole Miss basketball.
The defense, they were getting steals, they were getting those defensive rebounds and turning their defense into offense.
Todd Williams can't finish. And these are 2 defenses. Texas A&M second in the SEC in points per game allowed at 56, and Ole Miss is 5th in the conference at 58. MJ Johnson couldn't hit left of the rim, but Ole Miss just turned it over back to A&M. Turnovers so far combined 7. Ole Miss does cough it up quite a bit, 15.5 times per game. In Texas A&M, they had 22 turnovers that led to 23 Mississippi State points in their last contest. Lauren Ware.
But Ware is the kind of player that knows how to use her length, though, to her advantage. It's hard to stop her. She's got that wingspan.
First lead for Texas A&M since they opened the ball game up 2-0. And Madison Scott, percentage-wise, Lindsay, it's not high.
It's not fantastic, but it's better than it used to be.
Yeah.
They started out.
Scott this season, 71%. I mean, they're not going to let her get any space, even if she is 0 for 4 to begin the game. And Lauren Ware is fouled. Talking about Ole Miss being 10th in the SEC in free throw percentage, Texas A&M is 66% shooting from the foul line at 13th in the conference, but We haven't really talked about Lauren Ware that much. Over 10 points per game, nearly 9 rebounds a contest. Texas A&M, a crucial transfer. Scott, mid-range. Rebound patted outside and picked up by Hilton. Parker fades back. Hits the bounce.
What a shot.
Foul was on Jones, number 24 of Texas A&M. That was her first. And Ole Miss turns it over. 5 turnovers now for Ole Miss. 4 for Texas A&M in this first half. And Hilton loses the handle. Here comes Scott. Too strong. Ibakwe cleans it up. Ole Miss down 1.
It's nice to know that you can go in for a layup and have a player like Ibakwe there to clean up the mess if you make one.
Rudy Ibakwe only had 1 point against South Carolina in Ole Miss's loss. But Ibakwe averaging 5 points per game. She's been off a little bit lately. See if she can get back into her form tonight. Time left to shoot for the Aggies. And Ware's rejected by Ibakwe. And it's her 249th career block. It's a lot of blocks in a career.
You don't want to go one-on-one with her in the paint.
Three's good for Jones. And a 4-point Aggies lead. Second 3 of the night for Texas A&M. They hit 5 per game. That sits 9th in the SEC. Davis on the response. Has no answer. And KK Green, the senior from Chicago, Illinois, feeds it down the floor to Jones. Ware was wide open, and Texas A&M up 6, their biggest lead of the night. And Coach O wants to talk it over for Ole Miss. The Aggies, those turnovers at Mississippi State in the last loss for the Aggies, they felt like they were rushing. Mistakes on defense led to mistakes on offense, and that just was because they wanted to try to make up for defensive mistakes offensively, and that can mind-boggle you sometimes.
Absolutely. It's that mental toughness where you have to play in the moment. You don't want plays to string together in a negative way.
Richardson fades away. Boy, that was pretty. Under 5 to go until halftime. This is Jones, who's hit a 3-pointer today. As has Barker. She has 9 points. Almost traveled. Gets it to Ware with 2 seconds left on the shot clock. Lauren Ware has 12 first half points. She's already over her per game average of 10. Ten left to shoot for Ole Miss. Davis, who has 4 points tonight, gets back her miss. Can't hit the chippy. Ole Miss is 2 for 8 shooting in the second quarter.
That's frustrating.
Lob to Parker. She elevates. Wow, the Aggies 6 for 10 shooting in this second quarter.
You see a big difference between this A&M defense and Ole Miss. A&M's doing a great job of forcing Ole Miss to rush shots. Shots that normally they'd make, probably why their shooting percentage is not quite so high.
Texas A&M's biggest lead on the night, but not after that. Carissa Richardson twist and turn. Jones on the pivot foot. Misses the shovel. Ware offensive rebound. The shot clock, that's a violation. And she said to make it ugly tonight because both teams are this is going to be a dogfight. Collins hits the 3.
There's that 3 Ole Miss has been waiting for. You mentioned the dogfight, Jake. We've seen moments of that too. The chippiness between the teams.
Clean block by Todd Williams. .205 to go until halftime. Johnson rejected by Richardson.
Stare downs. Let's take another look at this. Richardson strong on the inside. A good move. I love how aggressive A&M's being. Ole Miss just shutting them down right now.
Ole Miss averages over 6 blocks per game. That is 4th in the country. Todd Williams in on the inbounds pass. To the basket. It's in. 1-point game.
What a play. Todd Williams, she's just the kind of player that finds a way to make it happen. It's not always pretty. It's not always smooth, but she gets the job done.
Endyia Rogers, no points in this first half. Rogers averages nearly 13 points per game. 7 left to shoot for Ware. This is Jones. She doesn't see it. She got it off. Battle for the rebound. And Ware takes a spill, as does Richardson. 7-0 run now for Ole Miss over the last 2 minutes and 11 seconds. Davis loses the handle. Here comes Rogers with a minute to go in the first half. Still scoreless tonight, Rogers. She had 17 points at Mississippi State that led Texas A&M last game. 10 left to shoot. The freshman Williams. Back to Rogers, left it fly. Bullseye!
Big basket. She heard you talking, Jay. She said, this guy.
Todd Williams goes to work. Kicks to Scott. At the buzzer, around and out. Ibakwe blocked. Todd Williams is fouled. And we have some extracurricular happening. And words flying. It's getting chippy in Oxford. Our officials say go to your benches.
Take a breather. Everybody needs to cool off after that one. Let's see some. A little bit of mouthing.
Janiah Barker for Texas A&M.
This side, just.
Number 15 is issued, for Texas A&M, is issued a common foul. After that play's over, 3 is going to get an intentional foul for her elbow to 15's face. Then, number 2 for red, Texas A&M, and number 3 for white is going to get offsetting technical fouls. The substitute for Ole Miss will shoot 2 free throws. Texas A&M will shoot 2 free throws for intentional foul. We'll resume at half court.
It's a lot to unpack.
It's a lot to unpack. I'm sure he has reasons. I'm surprised, just like looking on. I'm surprised at that call. He must have heard something that I could not hear.
Yeah, there must have been. So, Todd Williams is ejected. She's ejected, we're being told. So no more Kennedy Todd Williams in this game. And that's a intentional foul for the elbow, and then the technical foul. Ty Singleton. So if you're Ole Miss, Kennedy Todd Williams, that's in conference play. Over 10 points a game you're missing. Todd Williams and Madison Scott, they've been splitting point guard duties.
Right, and not to mention the energy that she was bringing in this game as well with her defense, the skills. That's a huge loss for Ole Miss. A&M, big chance right here.
And 1.4 seconds to go to go in the second quarter. And Rogers will just let this dribble out. Wow. Back and forth first half. Some drama late in the second quarter. We'll let everybody's temperatures back home cool off, and we'll be back for the second half after that. Texas A&M up 6. Getting 44% from the floor in this game. That's above their 41% per game average. Ole Miss just at 33%, well below the 42% per contest that they hit from the floor. And Texas A&M turns it over. Scott on the run for the Rebels. 2 quick points. It's a good sign for Ole Miss. Endyia Rogers. Here's Lauren Ware. 12 first half points for the Aggies. Koulibaly off balance. Ware pinballed that one right back to herself. Here's a three from Rogers. Oh, it's good!
What a big shot.
Question for Ole Miss. How are they going to look without Kennedy Todd Williams? And this may prove my point. Coulibaly on the fast break. It's not a Collins. With 10 left to shoot. Finds Scott all the way and a foul. And the arena falls silent for Scott as she claims the first. 71% free throw shooting. 9 left to shoot. Coulibaly wanted Ware. Picked up by Barker. Here's the three. Texas A&M 4 for 8 from outside the arc.
Seeing some great defensive possessions from Ole Miss. Good job working that shot clock down, using it in their advantage.
Two teams with defensive identities. Scott rattles it home. Ten left this possession. Rogers. There's a foul. Endyia Rogers knocks down the first. And now she has 10 points tonight. That consistency is tough in this league, isn't it?
It is, and it's funny she's already in double figures. I feel like she had a little bit of a sleepy start, had some other players step up in the first half.
At one point she was 0 for 4 shooting to begin the game. And Ayanna Thompson loses the basketball. Rogers lets it go. Barker collects the offensive rebound.
Big board.
Texas A&M second in the SEC in offensive rebounds per game and 11th in the country at nearly 16. Step back. Flat for Rogers. And another offensive board. Sahara Jones collected it. "11 offensive rebounds for A&M. Bullseye! Janiah Barker knocks it home. 11 offensive rebounds tonight for Texas A&M has resulted in 14 second chance points for the Aggies. The miss by Richardson. Here comes Rogers.
That statistic is eye-opening.
Down low to Ware. Muscles it home. Timeout, Coach Yo and Ole Miss. Texas A&M outscoring Ole Miss 12-5 in this third quarter. On a 7-0 run. Scott whips ahead to Collins. Thompson was open. And she's deflected. Coulibaly had the hand on it.
That was great defense by Coulibaly. Ole Miss had numbers there for about 3 full seconds, and Ole Miss did not take advantage of it.
This is Texas A&M's biggest lead of the night. They're riding a 7-0 run over the last 3 minutes. They have one SEC road win this year. That was at Missouri. 3 more for Janiah Barker. 17 points.
She's feeling it.
10-0 run now for Texas A&M. Can Collins respond? Battle for the loose ball. And Rogers comes out of there with it. Texas A&M on a 10-0 run over the last 3:55. They're out to their biggest lead of 16 points tonight on Ole Miss. And that was a near and one for number 14, Johnson. Stevenson.
Some big minutes for a freshman.
Coach Yo said, because of foul trouble in that game, I had some players out there in that environment against the number 1 team in the nation that probably shouldn't have been. Scott can't finish. Rogers on the run. Coast to coast. And the bench wanted the and one, but 2 free throws are coming as number 12 Auburn takes on Florida. Rogers 2 for 2. Scott wanted Ibakwe. Now they feed it to her. Scott ends the near 7-minute scoring drought for Ole Miss.
I think I heard every Ole Miss fan exhale with that make.
Ole Miss had missed 9 in a row before that make. 3 in the corner. Little heavy for Bowles. And a whistle with 3.1 left. The Aggies also have 1 road win in SEC play is at Missouri. That was the first road win in SEC play under Joni Taylor. And again, it's only her second season in College Station, but
she felt good getting on the plane after that win.
And MJ Johnson knocks down the free throw. Tail end of the third quarter. Scott doesn't get it off in time. And Ole Miss goes into the final quarter down 20 to Texas A&M at home.
I mean, it's got to be frustrating. Ole Miss is a team that usually is very well-rounded in their scoring. You wouldn't think that Todd Williams being out would have that big of an impact on that. But even now, Marquisha Davis not in the game.
Ibakwe needs help, and she throws it away. Aisha Koulibaly slows things down and kicks it over to Rogers, who has 4 assists tonight as well with her 12 points. Rogers coming from the Pac-12. Started her career at USC, had a couple of years at Oregon. 8 left to shoot. Johnson. And Ibakwe had it stripped, and it was off her foot. Texas A&M ball. But against Texas A&M at home. Kudos to the Aggies, don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
this is a great team, but you don't expect this lopsidedness in this game.
Absolutely not. Not on your home court. Definitely not. And you know what to expect coming into it as well.
Barker's 1 point away from her season high of 20 points. Largest lead of the day for Texas A&M on Ole Miss. Thompson loses it. Rogers collects. And A&M's not letting up either. I mean,
not at all.
They're playing like they're only up 2 points.
I mean, if anything, I feel like they're playing with more intensity.
Endyia Rogers had WNBA aspirations, but she pulled her name out of the draft consideration last year. Felt like she needed to work on her communication to be a better overall. Sought the advice of one of her great friends, and of course, it's Angel Reese. And Angel Reese had the connection with Joni Taylor due to USA Basketball. 3-ball knocked down by Snowden Collins. Ole Miss needed that. 2 other transfers with fun stories. Here is Ware. She made that look easy. She has 18 points tonight. Her career high is 22.
It's a pretty hook shot and impossible to guard.
Joni Taylor knew Lauren Ware. After her freshman year, Joni Taylor coached Lauren Ware. Again, USA Basketball connection. Loved her game. Loved coaching her. And when Joni Taylor found out Lauren Ware hit the portal, one of her assistant coaches said, "You will not believe who just entered the portal." And then when Joni Taylor went to call Lauren Ware, guess who she had a text message from? Lauren Ware. Funny timing.
Meant to be.
Singleton off the mark. Rebound by Rogers. Nobody expected this here in Oxford tonight.
Not one bit. I love that Barker got her season high here tonight. And just the energy and effort that she has played with. I feel like we've said her name a million times. It's been fun to watch.
Here is Barker. Ware on the putback. Texas A&M, it seems like they just can't miss.
I mean, if there was a puzzle piece missing of just like peanut crew under the goal, she fits it perfectly.
If you're a Texas A&M fan, you have her for 2 more years. She's in on that block as well. It's a lot to be excited about. Texas A&M basketball. She has 41 blocks coming into this game, and she just got a double-double with that rebound. So she's just having one heck of a year. These are her numbers tonight. I mean, and shooting from the floor, 9 for 13.
It's an incredible percentage. She's such a smart player. And looking at A&M's roster, you're, of course, excited about this year, seeing how you can finish this year. But the future is bright for this team.
Johnson a little heavy. And Bowles in on the steal. Off balance. Got it over to Jones. And Jones off balance. 8-0 run for Texas A&M over the last 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Possession stays with Ole Miss. This is impressive.
And we had Joni Taylor right in front of us, and she looked back at her bench like, where did that come from? What a move.
I feel like everybody on Texas A&M's feeling some type of way tonight, right?
Yes, everybody is bringing their best.
Here in the second half, A&M's outscoring Ole Miss 33-10. Only get 33-12.
I mean, we have witnessed some incredible basketball. What a moment.
Jones tried to make something happen. Instead got stripped by Ole Miss. And Collins almost turned it over for the Rebels. Back to her. It's good. Kennedy Todd Williams picked up a technical foul and an intentional foul, which tossed her out of this game. Ole Miss has been without one of their key guards in this whole second half. Scott able to finish. It's up to 13 points. Now Ole Miss on a 7-0 run over the last 2 minutes. But is it too little too late? That's MJ Johnson. Knocks it down. That ends a 2.5-minute scoring drought for the Aggies. Singleton and one. Rebels are still fighting. A road game at Kentucky. Vanderbilt next Thursday. LSU and Arkansas. I mean, at Kentucky, at Vanderbilt, with this type of momentum, those could be some wins too for A&M. They may not be a bubble team after this win and these next 2 games.
And coming off of a game like this, A&M has been playing some basketball. This is a great team that belongs in the tournament.
So they play LSU twice, and that's hard. I mean, playing LSU twice, it's brutal in itself. But this is pretty favorable for A&M.
You have to think they have LSU at home, too. Vanderbilt at home, Arkansas at home.
Collins bags another 3 for Ole Miss. 5 left to shoot for Jones. And another shot clock violation. Endyia Rogers had 12 points today, and also only allowing 51 points to Ole Miss. That was the key to success for Texas A&M tonight. And Scott draws the foul. Count it. KK Green pulls down the rebound, and that's it. Lopsided win tonight. Texas A&M takes down Ole Miss on the road. Their second conference win on the road of this season. And that does it for us. David Diller directed it. Jim Holder produced it.